Doc Loves the Kids, a local Kitsap County nonprofit organization established in 2015 whose mission is to provide activities, programs, and community support for at-risk youth.
They put the U in community.
Doc Loves the Kids.
Welcome to Uncommon Courtesy,
where we give you the courtesy of conversation.
That's uncommonly spoke of.
I'm D-Mac.
I'm Wesley.
And this is the show. Hey, don't forget to like, listen, subscribe. Thanks to all our viewers. You know what I'm saying? Don't mind the hiatus.
Hey, you got me messed up.
I know, right?
It's, right. It's hiatus.
Hiatus. You know what I'm saying? They try to take us out. Remember, folks, we go live every Sunday, 1 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? We want to put that out there for everybody. The article I want to start with
1
today.
p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 1 p.m.
Yeah.
You guys can log in and come back and converse with us back and forth. We love to have these conversations with you guys to make sure that y'all can give you guys a side of opinion on what's going on, what we're talking about. If you have a different opinion, if you want to fact check us, anything, we love to have you guys a part of that 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time live show every Sunday.
Yeah, where you live from right now?
Oh, right now I'm live from beautiful Belize. It's quick fact, man. It's one of the only it's the only primarily English speaking countries in Latin America. It's crazy that everyone here speaks English.
Yeah, that's where Shime is from.
Shine, yep. He's they said he's trying to run for prime minister. He's part of the opposition party. His party doesn't have control of the government here, so that's what they call him, the opposition party.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, it's a beautiful place, man. I would definitely recommend people to come here. It's a hidden jewel. I've been a lot of places in Latin America. I mean, the prices are good. You know, I mean, even the prices for real estate here are really good. A lot of untapped land still here. You know, the people are nice as hell. I've been to the Bahamas. People are, I mean, don't get me wrong, Bahamas are cool. I like the Bahamas, but people here are just a lot friendlier to me.
Yeah.
You know, it's a lot more graciousness here. Food's really good too as well. Food in Bahamas was good. There's no comparison to that. But yeah, man, it's a really nice place.
That's what's up, y'all. I'm live and direct from Out the Neck of Wood Studios.
Hey, looking filthy or looking like Dr. Dre right now.
Yeah, no, I don't like to leave the house, man.
Dre.
So I bring the club here. You know what I'm saying? It costs me $40 to leave my house every day. I'm just gonna stay here.
At the bare minimum, that's what they hitting you for out
in
the
streets. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, but speaking of leaving your house, so Miami-Dade police officer at the center of the Tyreek Hill traffic stop has been suspended several times before. Miami-Dade police officer placed on administrative duties after controversial traffic stop of Miami Dolphins star Tyreek Hill has been suspended multiple times. Officer Danny Torres was placed on suspension at least 6 times during his 27-year career, according to his employee's profile released last Friday afternoon by Miami-Dade Police Department. The police included information showing a 20-day suspension in 2018 and another incident in 2019. Torres was suspended for 10 days. And the other 4 suspensions between 2014 and 2016 were each for 5 days. Torres also received at least 4 written reprimands between 1999 and 2020, the report showed. So, I mean, he's just been a menace, you know, but, you know, I'm not saying go ahead.
And you know that those suspensions aren't coming for petty things. You're not suspending someone from work for petty shit. You know what I mean? Especially not a police officer. There's going to have to be something egregious. And that's a lot. It's like almost every year I'm having to suspend you. So what are you doing? A suspension's like the last thing they're doing. They'll put you on administrative leave. That's not even required. I don't believe that's even probably looked at as a suspension. Yeah. You know, they put you on administrative leave first.
Yeah.
And so obviously you probably beat some people up. This is just my opinion. Not saying this is bared out in fact. I don't know. These are just allegations. I mean, not even allegations. It's me just making my opinion, I should say again. But it just seems weird to me that you've been suspended this many times with no further, you know, without you being fired.
Well, they don't really let cops go unless they mess up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, over 20 years, he's been suspended 7 times. Kind of makes sense, but I mean, that's a lot of suspension.
How many people you know got suspended from work before, man? Suspended. I mean, it happens sometimes. Don't get me wrong, but it ain't like it was when I was a part of the workforce, it wasn't normal for people to get suspended from work.
Yeah,
he's been suspended.
Only one time I worked at Martha and Mary, and they would put people on call because they were so shady they wouldn't fire you, because if they fired you, somehow they'd have to give you unemployment.
Yep.
Yeah. So they would just put you on leave. So for me, it was cool because there was like always different women coming in with scrubs in, like, oh, I was on call and they just gave me my job back. And I'm like, yeah, I bet they did. I bet that job was cool, bro. They was all in scrubs, and I'm just like,
guy's crazy, man. Where do they find you at, bro? Where do they find you at?
Under, my mom keeps saying under a rock. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I can understand. I mean, being a police officer is a hard job. I mean, there's a lot of rude cops, and sometimes you get pulled over and you'd be like, why you pulling me over? You know why he's pulling you over. But you don't realize, like, people don't realize a lot of police officers, they just reported to a rape of a child, assault, a man beating his woman. You know what I'm saying? An old lady got robbed by 3 dudes and sexually assaulted, and then they got to pull you over because you're doing 60 in a school zone. You know what I'm saying? And you're mad. And I can understand that, but this is he was out of line. You know what I'm saying? That's not the police. That's not the policing we need. You know what I'm saying? Like, regardless, and I look at it like this: what if Tyreek Hill was an 85-year-old man and he was moving that slow? Is the cop gonna rip him out the car? Is he gonna put him in a chokehold? You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, the dude was just overly aggressive. Everyone saw it. We had a lot of comments in our comment section saying he should have just complied. He should have just did this. I mean, these same people, don't get me wrong. Okay, I can look at what you're saying with a little bit of merit, but not really.
Well, you gotta give someone time to comply. You can't say get out the car, then rip him out the car. You can't tell him. He says, "Hey, I'm going down." He's like, "My knee hurts," and you're like, and you pull him down. You have no grace. There's a difference.
On top of that, when you look at it, there's no law stating I have to keep my window rolled down for you.
Yeah, you're only supposed to crack it this much.
Yeah, and just give me your information. You can close it. That's it. I don't have to sit here and converse with you about all kinds of shit. Go get my ticket. That's it. I don't have. There's no conversation to be had. If you want to ask me questions, then that's it's not a requirement for me to answer. On top of that, the other guy came and immediately said, "I should break your fucking window." Basically, not break your fucking window, but excuse me. But he said, "I'm gonna bust this window. I'll bust this window."
Well, he was hitting on it hard the first time. That's why he rolled his window. He was like, "Why are you hitting my window so hard?" You know what I'm saying?
Do that to me too. I've had the police, like I said, they opened my door to my car. Like, man, what are you doing? Oh, well, sometimes the tent meter is right here on the door. Did you ask me to open my door? Did you ask me to do that?
Did you see the video of the cop inside the lady's house? And she was like, "Why are you in my house?" And he was like,
house. I own this place now. That's something. He said some crazy stuff.
Yeah, crazy stuff. Like, first of all, the police can't come in your house unless they have a warrant or you invite them in.
Exactly. He tried to say the kids invited him. He said, no, they didn't.
And it wouldn't matter. The kids are minors. It's not their home. I've been at a house party and somebody let the cops in, and the guys whose house it was like, "What are y'all doing in my house?" He was like, "Well, these people let us in." He's like, "But it's my house. Get out." And they had to get out. You know. So I mean,
just even on top of that, I know that I was watching stuff. I don't know if we talked about this or not. We're talking about Stephen A. Smith when he actually said something like, Black people, we need to start just complying. Basically, he's trying to say we need to comply because him and like guy's name's Dominique something. They were having a conversation on I think it's First Take, Stephen A. Smith's show. I can't remember the name of it, but and Stephen A. Smith was of the argument. He said that he agreed that the cop was overly aggressive, all that good stuff. But he said that you need to comply. He was, this, that, and the third, acting like
first of all,
why do you crack his window this much? You need to have your windows rolled down. And then you got Shannon Sharp coming on saying, when the police first roll up, I have my windows rolled down, all my windows rolled down halfway. It's like we have to. Are you saying that we have to overly comply? Because the guy Dominique came back and said, that's a conversation that we can have amongst ourselves privately. Hey, to your kids, tell them, hey, this is how you act when the police come, maybe with your hands on the wheel. But who the fuck should have to live that way when nobody else does?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's
it's always comply. Like, I mean, it's not about, first of all, Stephen A. Smith is from Jamaica. Number two, and he didn't have that same smoke for what was it, Dana White beating on his wife. And that's where I always go back to. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't have no smoke for him. But I mean, you jumping on everybody else. So I don't even pay attention to Stephen A. Smith no more after that. But we do comply. There's only so much complying you can do. And then you see videos of people just talking to the police and telling them the law, and we can't do the same. So there is no complying. He didn't have time to comply. That's the whole thing. You open the door, get out the car, you pull him out. Hey, sit down. Hey, my knee hurts. I'm going down. Let me go. So no, you're
put your knee in his back. They immediately throw him all the way down to the ground on his face. Put their knee in his back. The whole line.
I know that. I'm telling you for a fact. Like I said it before. I'm keep saying it. Look into that officer's family. They were making bets on that game that day. There was parlays on that.
And that's a crazy.
They said I put it in the video. I don't know if you watched the video when I was replaying it. The cop looks and he turns back. He's like, "Yo, it's Tyreek Hill."
I did hear him saying that. I did hear him say it's Tyreek Hill. I heard that too.
Yeah.
And so they knew who the fuck it was.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So it's just, to me, man, this situation, we had a lot of comments in the comment section. A lot of people were saying, hey, you guys are just defending Tyreek Hill. He was wrong. He was speeding, this, that, and the third. I'm like,
they showed the video. He wasn't speeding excessively. This is the whole thing. So it's not about defending him. It's about police etiquette. Was he a danger? No. He's Tyreek Hill. If he fights the police, it's national news. Regardless, it's not no regular stuff. It's Tyreek Hill. You have to give people time to comply. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't give people time to comply, you're not looking at them as humans. And then we see videos. I mean, it's always different police departments, whatever. But I always see videos of European Americans screaming at the police. You know what I'm saying? Screaming, and the cops are just taking it. I've seen people rush cops with machetes, and the cops are backing up. You know what I'm saying? But you can't just shoot a black dude because you're scared of him. You know what I'm saying? So there's a difference in policing, like, and that's what we're pointing out.
And let me just say this one last thing.
Wait, real quick too. And it's turning to the point where the cops are treating everyone like us now. So I mean, either you get on board with it, or next time it's going to be your family member. Go ahead, sir.
Yep. And then at the same time, these same people are saying comply, telling him, trying to tell him to comply. These are the same exact people who always tell the people, tell everyone, if you about their gun rights, you're gonna have to come pry them out of my cold dead hands. So if the law states that he doesn't have to roll his window down, I mean, why should he have to roll his window down?
Yeah.
Period. Yeah, I mean, that's what the law states. Just like
I don't listen to those people
that have your gun. Just like the law states you can have your gun. Yeah, I mean, when the law then says you can't have that gun anymore, are you going to give it up? Are you going to comply? Let's see. You know what I mean? That's kind of what this kind of boils down to me. Those two things are akin. But anyway,
they ain't coming to get our guns. And besides, you know, if you everybody should comply, you should be telling all those people that tried to overthrow the government on January 6th to go turn themselves in.
Absolutely. Okay. Hey, I got another one here. I think we got the explanation finally revealed for viral image of man holding geese that fueled bizarre pet eating claims in Ohio.
The memes is going crazy.
You
see the one with Snoop Dogg, like, I will not be performing in Ohio. For the foreseeable future.
I did see that. He said a viral photo of a man carrying 2 geese in Ohio fueled Donald Trump's wild, now debunked conspiracy that Haitian migrants are eating people's pets in the state. But turns out it was a wild goose chase. To say. The Ohio Division of Wildlife told TMZ that the man was picking up the 2 geese that had been hit by a car in Columbus, which is about 45 minutes from Springfield, where Trump had previously claimed that migrants were chowing down on the birds. And in order to collect the carcass, people need documentation from a county sheriff or wildlife officer. The wildlife organization explained, but according to Franklin County Wildlife Office, this is not required for geese, meaning the man had a right to eat, a right to them. TMZ reports there's no evidence that the man is Haitian, an immigrant, or that he even intended to eat the geese. At a rally in Tucson, Arizona this week, Trump dragged geese into his narrative.
Oh, he was going to eat them geese.
So, I mean, and it looked like he's about to eat them too.
And we used the picture. You know what I mean? We used the picture of the geese. I'm not going to front. We used that one as a cover, and we also used the picture
out there.
We used a video of the lady from Canton, Ohio, and I said, hey, I don't know if she's from Springfield, but she was from Ohio. She was an American citizen going crazy, and she ate a cat. So I don't mind.
They said there was no evidence. They said they checked her blood. There's no evidence of her eating it, but they did say it looks like she has some shit in her teeth from the cat. And the people said they saw her eating the cat on the video. I did hear that too myself. So when you look at it,
and people are crazy. I mean, people eat cats. People sleep with dogs.
People do crazy shit all the time.
But the Haitian community is hot about it. They're like, look,
should be.
They're like, look, we're not migrants, but like we came here to work. They brought us in here to work and replenish the city,
the dwindling population of Springfield. The population, they said that the population of Springfield has been dwindling over the last few decades.
Yes,
going south. They don't have enough workers at this plant. I just saw a guy.
Yeah, the guy that worked at the plant. He was like, hey, he's like, yo, they don't leave their machines. They work hard. They do what they're supposed to do.
Of them.
Yeah, for real. He's loving it.
He's like, they're not on drugs. They don't have drug addictions. You know what I mean? They're not sleeping on the job.
Staying at their machines. Yeah, he was
meeting their quotas. He said
they're
meeting their quotas and everything. You know what I mean? They're beating their quotas actually for how much they're supposed to produce. He's like, these guys want to work over everything. Like he was praising these people. I mean, and this is what you get when you get somebody. A lot of times when you get people who are from different countries, you're going to get a hardworking.
They're going to work hard. Yeah. That's the they want to them. You come to America, you work hard, and you can become something. For us, we know better. We know no matter how hard we work, they're just gonna take more of it from us. Oh, you make it overtime? Oh, we're gonna have to tax that. I was talking to this guy the other day, and I was like, bro, like, you really don't own anything in America. Like, if you think about it, like, think about this. If you don't pay your car tabs and they catch you driving without your tabs, what are they gonna do? They're gonna tow your car until you get your tabs, right? You don't own that. If you don't pay your home taxes, your property taxes, right? They'll come and take your home. You don't really own anything in America unless you live off the grid.
Hey, while we're talking about while we're on the subject of overtime,
yeah,
I wanted to talk about. You hear about Donald Trump's new overtime new overtime
no
theory, I guess he'll call. I'm not even sure what he's looking at doing with it, because he's talking about possibly ending all taxes on overtime.
Yeah.
Pretty much, it says Trump says he would push to end taxes on overtime pay. On Thursday, Trump said he would push for legislation that would end tax on overtime pay if he wins a second term. Today, I'm announcing that as part of our additional tax cuts, we will end all taxes on overtime. You know what that means? Think of that. Trump said as a campaign rally in Tucson, Arizona, that people get that gives people more of an incentive to work. It gives companies a lot. It gives companies a lot. It's a lot easier to get people. Trump said in his first rally since the debate with Vice President Kamala Harris earlier this week. They say his pitch came in the battleground state of Arizona, where Harris' ascendance on the ticket has put the state, which President Joe Biden won by just 10,000 votes, back in play for Democrats this year. The former president previously announced he would push to end taxes on tips and proposed that seniors should not pay taxes on Social Security benefits. These are some pretty good. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, this is
it's
nice
crazy though.
Hail Mary.
Man, check this out. Barack Obama tried to do this during his administration. He was like, let's get, He was like, let's get rid of the taxes on overtime. And you know who blocked it? The Republicans. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, Donald Trump is saying whatever he needs to say to get out of jail, and to stay out of jail. I mean, bro, like, they're like, hey, we're going to give you a chance. Like, if you don't, think about it. If he doesn't win, it's all bad for him. And so right now he's doubling down. Like, on everything. He's like, yeah, I'll say whatever I need to say to be free. And then in the meantime, also on the backside, he's just becoming more kind of like out there with his speaking. And it's crazy. I watched this video last night, and they showed him talking about the border in a speech during the debate in 2016. Then they showed him talking about the border now, in the one he just had with Kamala. And they showed his cognitive decline and how he can't stay on topic. And so they showed the video of, like, where he talked about the border, and he was like, yeah, first of all, we're going to stop the migrants from coming over. We're going to build a wall. And then he laid out this whole plan. I mean, at the time, for Donald Trump, it was a beautiful plan. Then they played the one Kamala where he's talking about the border. Then he goes to talking about the Haitians eating cats. Then he starts talking about Kamala and it's like he was just all over the place. And I was like, damn. It showed his cognitive decline. I was like, dang, he can't stay on topic. He just kept jumping and jumping and jumping. And that's why he sounded all weird, but we're so used to it because he just keeps talking. But
if you really kind of look at it, bro, I don't mean to cut you.
Yeah, you're good.
If you really kind of look at it, bro, since 2008, we've had some pretty strange presidencies. If you really look at it, it's kind of it's crazy because it started with a person of color. You know what I mean?
Well, they went wild with Brock, because to them, to a lot of people, they felt their nation was over. Like, how you gonna let the slaves run the asylum? That's all that was. You know what I'm saying? People were like,
they went so far right.
Yeah, you have
Trump.
to.
They went all the way to the other end of the spectrum with Trump, because it was like that's how they felt.
Yeah,
they took us all the way here with this guy.
That's why he said, "Make America great again." Because for him, he was like, "Yo, we don't like this." They didn't remember they all the Republicans got into a meeting when Barack Obama got elected, and they got into a secret meeting and said, we're going to make sure he's a one-term president, because people were wilding in the streets. They were like, what about our way of life? What about how we're going to live? Because they were scared. You know what I'm saying? If you're allowed to oppress a whole community of everyone that comes into America, and then you feel that power getting ripped away from you, you know what I'm saying? Like, you fear that. So yeah, of course they're going to go far right. They're like, we don't want none of this. None of this. Like,
this is crazy. I wonder if he's. I mean, how do you feel about him getting, if he could actually get rid of overtime on? Taxes on overtime.
That'd be fantastic. I mean, they shouldn't be taxing overtime anyways. Americans got to work extra long hours now. That'd be a great policy to have. You know, so one time I remember I was working when I was at my last job. I'm working, right, and I get a raise, but I'm at the bottom of the middle class tax bracket. So, I'm getting paid like $34 an hour. So I'm like, cool, man. You know what I'm saying? So I worked about 12 12 overtime hours each week. I got my check. And what they did, the tax was so thick on it that the tax cleared out all my overtime, and it just didn't tax my regular hours. I made more money working less. I was like, I looked at my check and I said, where's my money? And they were like, no, you're in a new tax bracket. You're just in the bottom of the middle class. And I was like, damn. And I saw how they're doing the middle class. It was cold, bro. Like, after that, I didn't even work. I would never work overtime. I was like, I'm cool. I was like, I make more money not working overtime because the tax was so much.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
they got me.
They got me good.
Yeah, that's
Fuck
pretty
that
crazy.
job.
Yeah. I'd have to feel the same way too.
Yeah.
Hold on 1 second.
All right. And while you're doing that, I want to bring this up. Trump breaks silence on free spirit Laura Loomer. So, ladies and gentlemen, get back to it. It says Donald Trump claimed to be completely unaware of growing conspiracies around conspiracy theorist Laura Loomer, as he faced questions about why he had allowed a woman who said 9/11 was an inside job to travel with him for commemorating events this week. Laura Loomer has become a regular fixture at Trump's Mar-a-Lago home, and this week made racist comments about Trump's opponent Kamala Harris. Excuse me. But at a press conference at Los Angeles Golf Club in front of the Pacific Ocean on Friday, Trump refused to criticize her. I don't control Laura, he said. I don't tell Laura what to do. She's a supporter. Instead, he called her a free spirit and claimed to know nothing about a post in which his supporters said the White House will smell like curry and the White House speeches will be facilitated via call center if Harris, the daughter of an Indian Jamaican immigrant, won the election. Now, I want to read the post to you that she posted on here. Laura Loomer just went away.
Yeah, it's okay, but Laura Loomer sounds like a goddamn racist.
She said, if Kamala Harris wins the White House, the White House will smell like curry, and the White House speeches will be facilitated via call center, and the American people will only be able to convey their feedback through a customer satisfaction survey at the end of a call that nobody will understand.
I mean, I feel like this Trump. They asked. You're so stupid, bro.
That's hilarious. That's because she ate with that.
This is what I'm gonna say. I mean, because to me, I look at it like I understand you. I got you, bro. It's fun. It is. I mean, it's all right, but it's not
racist
really,
as hell. But it's funny.
And it's so racist to me that it's not, in my opinion, not. That is not funny. It's like, to me, like, this is a Indian American.
Yeah.
I mean, period. Just like when they said about Tiger Woods, don't have collard greens and fried chicken when you won the Masters for the first time.
Yeah.
Whatever that
exactly
that guy was. You know what I mean? So, like we have to get to a point at some point in time where we're not, it's funny and all, it's fun and games and jokes and shit.
Yeah.
But do we say it's gonna smell like bologna and whatever else when, you know what I mean? Like, we don't say that.
And the cool thing about it, right? Like, it was so racist that Marjorie Taylor Greene, DEI hire Marjorie Taylor Greene, because y'all don't see her no more, right? She's gone out the spotlight. I told you what was happening. She came out and said something, right? And then Laura Loomer came back at her and said, once again, Marjorie Taylor Greene, who's extremely jealous and vindictive over the fact that she wasn't successful in turning Donald Trump against me, is now behaving like a leftist and accusing me of being racist. Kamala Harris is on video calling herself an Indian and saying she cooks with curry. She also refuses to speak to the media, so there's a strong likelihood that she would set up a call center to avoid speaking to the press and being honest with the American people. And then she said, hey, MTG, speaking of racism, one of your former staffers told me you have a favorite word that starts with N. And she's like, what if the staffer has a video? So, I mean, Laura Loomer's not backing up. The thing that makes it so bad is that she hangs out with Donald Trump. Like, she was with him. She's on his plane flying around with him. She was there after the debate on his plane. People are thinking they're sleeping together. You know what I'm saying? Someone posted a picture of Danny DeVito dressed as the penguin in video and going like this. And they're like, that's all Laura Loomer sees at Mar-a-Lago.
You're so stupid, bro. Listen, you remember when Barack Obama's pastor came out and was like, "God damn America" for
Yeah.
XYZ. They made him denounce his whole pastor. He didn't do it at first, but
Yeah.
the pastor kept going with it. Like, man, bro, okay, we understand that you're a radical. You're gonna say what you want to say and act how you want to act, but don't throw away everything for everybody. And it's our first chance. It's our first. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's our first chance to try and get a W.
Why
on the
you
board
trying to
this
mess
one.
it up?
Don't mess this up for everybody. And so, but this person comes out and says something that is racist. We all know why she's saying it.
Yeah.
We all understand it. This isn't even a dog whistle anymore. This is direct racism.
Yeah,
that's why I don't think it's funny at all, because I'm looking at these people. This is who you are. You sent this person out here. Then Donald Trump does not. You don't even say, you know what? I denounce those type of, what this person is saying.
He's never denounced anyone. He didn't denounce the dudes at Charlottesville. He didn't denounce Jeffrey Epstein. He didn't denounce Jeffrey Epstein's madame. He didn't denounce the Proud Boys. He was like, yo, no, those my peoples.
Let me say this.
Those my peoples.
Let me say this because I had a friend of mine send me over, and it's out of the blue. It's weird that you just brought that up too. I had a friend of mine send me over a clip during it was during that whole Charlottesville. It was at that Charlottesville press conference. Yeah. Same one where he said, very fine people. He did come out and say that not the neo-Nazis, not the white supremacists. Those people are like, he denounced those people at that. It's weird. He sent me this clip after the debate. So I was like, it was because it's the only good thing you can come out with and put on here that he did do that though. And so the fact of the matter is, he did. But I'm like, okay, why the hell you send me that out the blue right after the debate? Because he just got his ass kicked.
What's her name? Giselle Maxwell. They're like, do you denounce Giselle Maxwell? And he said, I wish her the best.
I mean, no, he's not. He like you said, Proud Boys, Ghislaine, whatever her name is.
Yeah.
Jeffrey Epstein, everything else. He's a full-throated supporter of these people. They helped him try to overthrow the election, everything else, 110% right. So it is what it is. You can see why a person like him is not gonna stop, letting people talk like this, because it works for them. There's nothing that she's saying that hurts him. His base already loves that.
They already win it, and everyone's already decided. So we're not even gonna play like we don't know who you're gonna vote for in 2 months. Go ahead. I want to bring this up. I saw this the other day, and I want to bring awareness to this because this is not the first time it's happened, but this is the first time we've been able to report on it. So there was a 21-year-old man, black man. He was lynched. His name is Javion Magee. He's from Bellwood, Illinois, and was working as a truck driver when he was found hung from a tree in Henderson, North Carolina, without his phone or his wallet. They're trying to rule his death as a suicide, but the information isn't adding up. And then that's the post from his cousin. And then it said Javion Magee, a truck driver from Chicago, was found dead on September 11, initially reported to have been hanging from a tree. However, law enforcement ruled his death a suicide, a conclusion Magee's family disputes, calling for a thorough and transparent investigation. The case gained widespread attention after Magee's cousin, a TikTok user known as Scotty Primpin, shared details of his death on social media. The post prompted discussion about Henderson's racial history, with some online users claiming that the town has a legacy as a sundown town. Places historically known for violence against black people after the sun sets, including lynching. And a search warrant filed by Vance County Investigation shed lights on Magee's final moments. Authorities were dispatched to 285 Vance Mill Road after receiving a report of a possible suicide. Detectives Labra, whose first name was not listed in the warrant, found Magee sitting at the base of a tree with a blue rope around his neck. According to a warrant, Magee displayed no visible signs of assault or trauma, is what they're saying, but it's not adding up. And now, you can look it up. Every time they've been hanging black folks recently in America, they've still been hanging black folks. Every time you can type it in, black man found hung, and they always try to rule them a suicide. Let me tell this to all our listeners. There is no black man that's a foundational black man, his family came from slavery, that would hang himself to kill himself. You would either shoot yourself, take a bunch of pills, or cut your wrists. But you're going to look at that rope in that tree and be like, nah, I can't do it like that. Can't do it like that. You'll do it any other way. But us hanging ourselves is nothing. And then like I say, we need a hate crime bill. And because this was a lynching, right? But they don't even claim they're lynching. You know when they started doing, they were hanging a lot of black people, was when Donald Trump first got elected, right? Mm-hmm. They had people going around being fake police. And they found at least like 6 or 7 people hanging from trees in different states. And they ruled them all suicides all of a sudden. You can Google it, ladies and gentlemen. Google it. I Googled
you,
one just now while we were talking, and let me see. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing. Look, black man hanging death in Mississippi, lynching or suicide. Family speaks out. Let's see. This was February. This was 2018. On the night of February 2018, Willie Andrews Jones and Alexis Franklin argued in a car on the way to her parents' home. Scott. The couple were going through a rough patch in the relationship, but they had a 3-month-old child together. They continued fighting when they arrived at 19-year-old the home where a group of family members was staying. At some point, Jones walked out, leaving Rankin inside. Not long afterwards, Rankin's stepfather was calling 911 to say Jones was dead. The black man was found hanging from a tree in the yard of his white girlfriend's home, 50 feet from the house, about 5 feet from the roadway. He stepped outside. Now he just killed himself. I'm telling you, bro. It's not. He just put himself in the tree. Put himself in the tree.
You know what you're lining yourself up for right now. You know what you're lining yourself up for right now.
What?
Everyone's gonna come out and say, "Oh, yeah, you can't say no black man would hang himself." This and the third. That's
not your first thing, bro. You pop yourself, jump off a building, or cut your wrist. First of all, they all can't just hang themselves in a tree. You gotta. You know what I'm saying? Who put you up there? You can't just hold yourself till you die and then you drop down. Come on, bro. It's not happening. We're not stupid.
We're not trying to just lean off or whatever. I don't know.
But I'm bringing awareness to Javion's stuff because he was 21, bro. He just got a CDL. He was down there. This man was lynched, and they're still lynching us here in America. The police want to cover it up and act like it's not a problem, but it is. It's still going on. They found men hung in Tacoma. They found them in Chicago, Illinois, Mississippi. I'm saying Georgia, hung, lynched. This stuff is still going on. And that's why black folks are asking for tangibles when it comes to electing officials. You know what I'm saying? You can't say, oh, well, we got this anti-lynching bill, but you're not even labeling them as lynchings anymore.
You know that, let me say this. His cousin, I saw something where a girl who purported to be his cousin.
Yeah.
She said that his parents had talked to the authorities, and the authorities told them that it looked like he hung himself. It was suicide. And so his parents was like, well, we'd like to see some information. We don't believe you. And they said, well, we have video of him going into like a Walmart or a Kmart or somewhere. I mean, I believe it's a Walmart probably, and buying the rope. And so they still haven't given them that. And they also asked for photos of his body. And first they're like, hell yeah, we'll send you the photos. Then they came back and said, no, we don't think that you guys want to see that. So
why would they want to see it? You know what I'm saying? Like, show me. Even on the show Game of Thrones, like the House of the Dragons, one of the girls, the lady's son didn't come back, so he was dead. They found like part of the they found something like a piece of his material. So she went out flying. She's like, no, I want to see. And the other one was like, the other lady was like, they were like, yo, why isn't she back? Why isn't the queen back? And they're like, look, she's like, when my son died, you know what I'm saying? I needed to go find proof. And she flew on her dragon. Look, these parents want to see. And for the police not wanting to show them, they don't want to be transparent because they know dude was lynched. The cops probably took pictures with it. They're going to send postcards to their family. You know what I'm saying? Like, and there's a lot of sundown towns still in America. There's a lot of places where we black folks just can't go. And that's okay. We don't want to go.
And they're saying that city is not a sundown town. They said, I read that today, like their city is not a sundown town, allegedly, but you still got a lot of them down south.
How many towns are going to be like, nah, this is a sundown town?
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I bet
maybe a handful of people be like, you don't want to stop. No. They be like, no, this is safe. Come on, black folks. Come on, see what the nightlife is like. We're going to throw a picnic this time.
It's crazy that we still have stuff like that in this place.
I don't think it's crazy. That's America. That's why they won't make laws to protect black folks, because the whole system is built against this anyways, right? So if you make a law to protect black folks from violent crimes, then America isn't America anymore. You know what I'm saying? They have to be able to attack African Americans and shoot us, and they have to be able to kill Native Americans. That's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? There's so many Native women that go missing every year. Every year. And I don't think we ever brought awareness to that. This is true.
We have not. Every year. We're gonna have to have a
real talk about that. It's a real discussion. You know what I'm saying? Like blacks and Native Americans, if they can't kill those two groups, they don't want to be here no more. Just like I'm saying, just like when Obama got elected, they thought, oh man, they're gonna come back and put us in slavery and all this. They thought because you're being able to do such horrible shit to people all your life. You're raised to think, hey, I can do this stuff. I'm not saying everyone's like this, you know what I'm saying? But we all, and you say, hey, that's not me, but you know somebody like that because I know somebody like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
On all sides. So
no,
I mean,
absolutely.
yeah.
I agree. Don't get me wrong. I definitely agree. I
We will
definitely
keep
think
you
that.
up to date on this. On Javion. All right. You
Okay.
know what I'm saying? Justice for Javion.
Absolutely. I think it's starting to spread a little bit online too. Like since you brought it up, bro, it's been spreading. I've been seeing it a lot more lately, but I do feel like we need to talk about it. If there's a video of him buying the rope, put it out there.
Put it out. Put it all out.
If there is a video of him buying the rope, it'll convince me. Like, and I'm not saying you have to convince me, but hey, I'm part of the general public. You do need to let people know what happened. Transparency.
I'm not convinced that even if he bought the rope,
what happened.
He's a truck driver. He might have needed the rope for something. You know what I'm saying?
Just bought the rope right before.
You gonna kill yourself if you gonna. Most black people, like, we call somebody.
You just bought the rope, bro. I'm gonna tell you this. Listen,
he ain't had no friends. We ain't have a friend. Usually we call somebody like, yo, cuz I'm about to crash out. Yo,
hey, listen.
He's sleeping with this dude. We've been split up for 2 years, but I can't take it.
Has he had any history of mental illness? Anything like that's what we need to know. You know what I mean? But I'm bigger than that. If a person just buys a rope and then all of a sudden they hung, I don't know, bro. You might have did that to yourself. It's a chance. It's a greater chance that might have happened. But let's keep it let's look into it more, and let's keep everybody updated on what's going on with that. Next, I got Israeli soldiers fatally shoot an American woman at a West Bank protest, a witness says. Israeli soldiers killed an American woman demonstrating against settlements in the West Bank on Friday, according to a witness who said she was shot while posing no threat to Israeli forces and during a moment of calm after clashes earlier in the afternoon. Two Palestinian doctors said 26-year-old Ayasner Eg of Seattle was shot in the head. The U.S. government confirmed Eg's death, but did not say whether the recent graduate of the University of Washington, who was also a Turkish citizen, had been shot by Israeli troops. The White House said it was deeply disturbed by the killing of a U.S. citizen and called on Israel to investigate what happened. The Israeli military said it was looking into reports that troops had killed a foreign national while firing at instigators of violent activity in the area of protests. The killing came amid a surge of violence in the West Bank since the Israel-Hamas attack began in October, with increasing Israeli raids, attacks by Palestinian militants on Israelis, attacks by Israeli settlers on Palestinians, and heavier military crackdowns on Palestinian protesters. More than 690 Palestinians have been killed. This is just in the West Bank. This is not Gaza, according to Palestinian health officials. And that's crazy, man. Like normally in a given year, and it hasn't even been a year, normally it's about 200 Palestinians that are murdered by, like, the Israeli police force or Israelis in the West Bank, which Israelis have no right to be in the West Bank. They're not supposed to even be in there. It's supposed to be like Gaza.
They're taking it over right now.
But right now, it hasn't even been 1 year. But since October 7th of last year, 690. That's like 3-4 fold almost. It's crazy, man. And then this young lady right here, she's a U.S. citizen, and right now we're calling on Israel to investigate. You know what I mean? Like me personally, I have no confidence in Israel doing an investigation on anything. Period. Now I don't have any look at what they're doing in Gaza. But you're asking
remember they cut the murders in half. Remember? They was like, only 250,000 Palestinians have died, not 500,000. Those numbers are off. And none of them were children. Don't believe the photos. They're eating them. The migrants like they do in America. They're eating children over there.
It's crazy, man.
Crazy.
And the fact of the matter is they're saying that she was it was part of it was a riot, like I call it a protest, like a riot, kind of a protest going on. This is in the West Bank because you guys have been killing them, so they're protesting being killed by you guys, are protesting the blockades that you put up through the West Bank. And anyways,
and the IDF are monsters. They're like, hey, thanks for cluttering up in a circle.
Bam, headshot. Shot her in the head, man. A 26-year-old University of Washington graduate from Seattle.
Yeah,
American citizen.
And the people in Seattle have marched for that, and they'd be like, yo, we want justice. If she was, I'm gonna say it, and you guys know what I'm talking about. If she was blonde, blue-eyed, and she was there video logging what was going on, and she was murdered, actually, I don't care. She's an American citizen. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think they'd even do it for any American citizen, man. I think that we're so bought And, you know what I mean? We're
I think so much is
bought and
going
sold
on.
by this fucking government over here, man. That it doesn't matter what color the person is, man. They don't. We let this guy come and sit in front of a joint session of
all of us,
a joint session of Congress, man, and say that basically the people are idiots outside who are protesting. They need to be this, that, and the third. He's talking crazy. This Netanyahu in front of a joint session of Congress talking about
what a warrant for his arrest for international court of genocide. Why he's speaking in America. I mean, America's bought and sold. But, also, I mean, like, they don't have time for it, America, the government. Think about it. You got those 3 Americans down in the Congo that were sentenced to death the other day, like 2 days ago, because they were trying to, remember that? They were trying to overthrow the government. We reported on that a while back.
Yep.
They had a picture of them. I was like, yeah, you're going to die in the Congo, homie.
Hey,
actually one of my favorite movies.
Hey, but look, I mean, just the same thing on the same note as Netanyahu. Right now, he's in hot water. You also got people like his defense minister coming out saying that Gallant says Hamas no longer exists as a military force in Gaza. And so Israel Defense Minister Yuval Gallant has told international media that Hamas no longer exists as a military formation in Gaza and urged Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to make a deal. According to Israeli media reports, Gallant described Hamas as non-existent as an organized military force in Gaza after more than 11 months of war. He told journalists, Hamas as a military formation no longer exists. Hamas is engaged in guerrilla warfare, and we are still fighting Hamas terrorists and pursuing Hamas leadership. He also warned that Israel had to choose between a hostage deal and the risk of escalation, and said that only Hamas would benefit from worsening regional conflict. International mediators, including the U.S., have been working for months to get a deal that would see the release of hostages still held by Hamas and end the war in Gaza.
Yeah, it ain't Hamas no more. That's the people. You know what I'm saying? They done killed Hamas. Hamas been gone. You know what I'm saying? Like, now they're just killing the people. I mean, I can't say that because they're still fighting back, but I mean, you have to. It's like, it's what's going on in Gaza right now is just like the movie Red Dawn. Okay? In Red Dawn, Russia comes in and they take over America. And the people are fighting to stop them from taking over America. Now, if that happened, Russia would be like, oh, there's terrorists out here that are blowing up and stopping what we're trying to do. We're trying to save people. No, they're the citizens. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I mean,
absolutely. And I think that Gallant is being set up by America and its allies, because I think even the Biden administration, we have such a problem with being able to call out Israel. We cannot call out Israel, especially not during an election year. Whoever does, you're done. They're going to make sure everyone in your party is out of there. Look what they did to Bowman. Look what they did to, what's her name? Bush. Over in was that Missouri? Look what they did to her. Bowman was in New York. Bush, Corey Bush, I think, she was out of Missouri.
And homeboy in Oregon.
Got rid of their ass.
That's great. That should make everybody upset. That should make you wonder, how can a foreign government come in and sway our elections?
Yeah, I mean, and they run. I mean, they spent $25 million on a primary, man. On a primary, $25 million. Then I think they spent almost 15. I think they spent like 10 or 15 or something like that on Corey Bush's. Well, I think that's what her name was. I can't remember. I think they spent that on hers to get her ousted during her primary. You know what I mean? Like, come on, it's just crazy right now. But I believe that we're setting up Gallant to become the next prime minister. I think with these kind of comments that he's making, I think the international community is kind of rallying around him. We're trying to get Netanyahu the hell up out of here. He has a bloodthirst, man. This dude's crazy. Like it's all bad with him being in power right now. They need him out. They just killed a fucking American citizen. We're not doing anything about it. I mean, I would be afraid to go to these countries, not because I know my country don't have my back.
Yeah. Well, of course they're not going to have your back. I mean, it wasn't an election year, but I mean, not especially against that country. They're like, nah, they're going to do. Remember, they attacked with the U.S. Teddy Roosevelt. Was that the boat Israel attacked?
I can't remember, but I know what you're talking about. Back in like the 50s or 60s or something like that.
About the 70s and stuff. Because they showed a guy, people were protesting. He was like, F them. And he talked about they attacked them because they didn't want to watch. They didn't want the Americans to see them killing Egyptians at the time.
Yep, that's
committing a genocide.
They came back with gun. I think they came back with helicopters and shooting the people who were on the deck of the boat. They hit it with some type of torpedo. They tried to sink it.
Yeah, and
You know what I
America
mean?
didn't even
And
strike
we didn't
back.
do shit about it, man. And we let it ride out. And they tried to sink it because they didn't, like you said, they didn't want us to see them killing innocent citizens.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they rather try to sink our boat, and then they were going to blame it on someone else. These mother, I'm gonna keep it, man.
And the stuff about 9/11 is looking a little crazier. The more stories they put, I don't want to get into it. I don't want, but I'm like,
but it just we need to do what we need to do an expose on this, man. I'm trying to tell you, we need to just talk because it's just factual. What we're talking about is factual. You know what I mean? So I feel like one other thing too. I really want to
well, there's one thing I'll go ahead.
No,
go ahead.
No, you go first.
All right. The one thing I want to talk about is an article from way back, but it says not way back, but it's been bothering me. It says a quarter of Republicans think Trump should seize power even if he loses.
Really?
So it says in 2024 presidential elections were held, if the 2024 presidential elections were held today, it's not clear who would win. Vice President Kamala Harris has a slight national advantage, according to the Washington Post's average poll, but margins in swing states are informally narrow. And so, unless, of course, there's one successful anti-Democrat effort to subvert her victory, an effort, I missed the part. If the polls are overestimating Harris's support, Donald Trump will return to the White House. If they are underestimating her support, she'll be the next president. Unless, of course, there's some successful and Democratic effort to subvert her victory, an effort that about a quarter of Republicans and 1 in 7 Americans overall think should be overtaken in the event Trump loses. That's the determination of the new National League poll from the PRRI. But before we dig into that, it's useful to look at a different newly released poll. You know what I'm saying? But I just wanted to read a piece of the articles because they're saying 1 in 7 Republicans are saying that Donald Trump should just overthrow the government if he loses anyways. And remember, I've been saying this from the get. It doesn't matter if he loses or wins. If he wins, hey, we're in a dictatorship.
Man.
And if he loses, it will be a war. He could think about it, to avoid jail. I'm gonna burn down this New York courthouse that's trying to throw me in jail. Burn down the Georgia courthouse that's trying to throw me in jail. Burn it down. Release all our Aryan brothers out of these. I mean, he's been setting it up. Look, he don't care. He's like, look, I'm gonna go hard. I'm gonna be Donald Trump. I'm gonna go hard. I'm gonna be me. You know what I'm saying? My MAGA people love me. And if we don't win, then that means they took our country from us. And now we got to take it back. That's the plan.
My whole thing, the only thing that makes me kind of iffy, I mean, you know what I mean? Kind of, it's just the fact that the last time he sent them to go do this, 1,400 of them, which should have been more, some of them should have got probably knocked down. 1,400 of them ended up in prison. And so are they still going to have the same? If he loses, they know he's not going to be able to get back in office because he's not in office. Ain't like he can keep the, you know what I mean? He's not like he's keeping the reins of power.
He doesn't have the reins of the military. But I mean, how many people are on his side? How many military? I mean, you just never know. But it's like, yeah, you got to have the 5 branches or the 4 military branches. Is it 4 or 5? Wait, Army,
five
Navy,
now.
Marines, Coast Guard, Space Force.
Mm-hmm.
Army, Marines,
Air Force,
Navy, Coast Guard. Air Force. Yeah, they got
now probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, at the point of it, the biggest thing is that I just feel like, absolutely. And so the biggest thing I really believe with that is just that they doesn't have the goodwill to do it right now. His people are like, man, dude just got 20 piece. The other dude just got 25 piece in the feds. Like I said last time, you know what I mean?
But he said, hey, if I get reelected, I'll let you all out.
But he ain't getting up. Like you just said, if he loses, they talk about he should still seize power. How? There's almost, I mean, they're making it easier for him to be able to do. Don't get me wrong, because they're setting things up to make it easier for him. But I think if he loses, they're going to be mad, but they ain't too much going to shake. You know what I mean?
Nah, they're going to go crazy. They're going. I'm telling you, man, it's not going. I keep telling everybody, it don't matter who wins. We all going to lose as Americans. Something's gonna pop off. It's going to happen. So I just want everybody to think that. And what was the last one you had?
Yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit about, you know, probably the one person who everyone should truly fear. Elon Musk now controls 2/3 of all active satellites.
Damn.
Elon Musk now controls nearly 2/3 of all active satellites orbiting Earth following the launch of the 7,000th Starlink satellite this week. The internet satellite constellation, which is built and operated by Mr. Musk's company SpaceX, has grown by an average of 3 satellites per day since the first launch in 2019. The latest data from the nonprofit satellite tracker Celestrak shows SpaceX has 6,370 active Starlink satellites in low Earth orbit, with several hundred more inactive or deorbited. The figure, which has risen more than sixfold in just 3 years, represent just 62%, just over 62% of all operational satellites, and is roughly 10 times the number of Starlink's closest rival, UK-based startup OneWeb. The firm, which is a subsidiary of French satellite giant Ustat, was forced to rely on SpaceX rockets to deliver its equipment into space after launches with Russia's Soyuz were canceled in 2022 due to the Russian invasion of Ukraine. SpaceX plans to launch 42,000 satellites to complete the Starlink constellation, capable of delivering high-speed internet and phone connectivity to any corner of the globe.
Yo, and so he's supposed to get a job in Donald Trump's cabinet, right? Imagine the power they will have to control all of us. Like, you can create an algorithm where people online, if anybody says anything bad online through a text message, through an email about the administration, Donald Trump, or trying to harbor migrants when they're trying to get them out, they can find them. You know what I'm saying? This man, Elon Musk, is not even an American citizen, and he has all this power. He has the cars, he has the social media, and he has the satellites.
He's trying to put a chip in every human being. Think about this, man. You know that X, this was all a part. He said that him buying Twitter, X was all a part of his, that, what is it called? That Neuralink or whatever they're trying to do.
The Neuralinks.
And dude is like, what's the one thing on Terminator? What was it called?
Oh, Skynet.
That's him, bro. That's how I look at Elon Musk to me. You know what I mean? He didn't invent Tesla. Other people invented Tesla. He went and bought it and then came up with, like, move the idea forward. Don't get me wrong. It's not a bad thing to do. It's a great business move. Smart. But but how smart are you really when you had to come to the American government to save your business? Let's be real.
But also, it's like this, bro. Like, I mean,
if you've ever seen, should I say,
if you've ever seen, I like the Captain America movies. They're actually my favorite ones off the Marvel, right? So when they did the Winter Soldier, they talked about how their ships were supposed to come up, right? And they had a program because Hydra had taken it all over, and they're gonna have the ships in the sky, right? And they could target anybody in the world that could be, I
remember
that could mess with, that could, like, you know, stand against whatever they're trying to do. And that's exactly what they could do. Think about it. You have a man that has all these satellites, all this communication, all this stuff, and you give him to Donald Trump, and Donald Trump's like, look, I want all these people out of here. First, we're going to get rid of the immigrants, then we're going to get rid of everybody that don't like me. We're going to jail them, put them to work, whatever. You know what I'm saying? We live in some dangerous times. Wildly dangerous times right now.
We absolutely do. I just feel like this dude, he like you said, he's not an American. But he is, I think he's a citizen of the country now. Yeah. You know what I mean? He to me, I don't trust you. I feel like you bought X in order to destroy it. I think that some of your investors probably were duped. Now, a lot of people are like, why would a person spend $40-something billion to destroy something?
Because Twitter is the most important social media app in the world.
Absolutely. And when it comes to changing the hearts and minds of people. But let me say this, first of all. He didn't spend all that money himself. First of all, he had a lot of other investors. Puffy was one of them. I think some Saudi investors, other people were also a part of those things. But if it's me and I'm a prime minister, king, or dictator of a country, I'll spend $10 billion in order to make sure you're not going to overthrow my country and write it off. And I'm not tripping on that, and then use it as I can to help dictate things in other countries until it's dead. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. Hey, let's go ahead and push narratives over here and do this. That's an investment. That's what that's called. That's a great investment. You just saw them. They overthrew Libya. What happened to Muammar Gaddafi? They killed him in a sewage drainer, wherever that was.
They came from Muammar Gaddafi because he was about to throw off the European banks. Let's keep that 1,000.
No.
But they found him. Like, I mean, that's why I'm watching all the stuff about Gaza and everything else on Twitter.
What I'm saying is, but they helped to overthrow him because they used this whole Arab Spring, all this different stuff. They used that whole narrative pushed through Twitter and everything else to help overthrow them. They overthrew governments all throughout Northern Africa and in the Middle East. They were doing that during the Arab Spring. So I'm not saying they weren't coming after him for this reason, but the Twitter helped them do it.
Yeah,
you get what I'm saying? The
Twitter's
reason
it's a powerful tool.
Was for the dinar that they were coming out with, the gold dinar or whatever it was called at the time, that he was trying to get to overthrow the American dollar as a world reserve currency. You're correct about that. Yeah, and then but so it makes sense why they would do that. And so I just don't trust Elon. I never have, and I never will, especially now with how deeply he's trying to involve himself in our political system and how forward he is with it. And then at the same time, I know they're doing spacewalks, all kind of other things too. I think he does have, there's some merit to him, but I don't trust him as
also
the American.
Go ahead. And also to add on to that, we're talking about influence, and Laura Loomer was one of those people that just got their business got indicted, by the government. Remember, because they was taking all that money from Russia and giving out propaganda and stuff. Yeah,
She's one of them.
She was one of them. Exactly. And she's close to
now
Trump.
He comes out and stands tall for her.
Yeah.
Even after she said the most racist, vile things that you can, you know what I mean?
Because he's like that. He's like, that's funny. Call center, that's hilarious. All right, that's hilarious. I'm not gonna lie, that's funny. I mean, it's fucked up, but it's funny. You know what I'm saying? And ladies,
no. I'm not mad at you. Everybody should have their own opinion. This is not me trying to push my opinion.
No, it's racist as fuck. It's
to
racist.
Tamp down, to tamp down how you feel. Laugh if you think it's funny. That goes for anybody else too. I'm not telling you guys that you should feel how I feel or be outraged about something when I am. That's not your fucking job.
But also,
it's
not
my job to tell you that.
Yeah,
in my opinion, that's some bullshit.
And for us, you know what I'm saying? It's funny. We can laugh at it, right? But these people shouldn't be running our country. The president of America should be an American president for everybody, not just the people that like him. You know what I'm saying? You may not like Obama, but a lot of people use Obamacare. You don't even call it that no more. You call it the Affordable Care Act because it's working.
Because it's working. People like it now. People are like, oh, Obamacare.
No, I got the Affordable Care Act. I'm like, it's the same thing. They're like, well, damn, it's the same stuff. You know what I'm saying? And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to keep it going. We're going to let you know what it is. We're going to see y'all.
Remember, tomorrow, we're going to see them tomorrow live.
Yeah.
Sunday live. 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Every Sunday.
Sure you guys,
every
single Sunday, we're going to come here.
I don't want to date the episode.
Don't matter if, you know what I mean? If I'm out the country, if he out the country, if he's moving around doing whatever he got to do, we're going to make it happen for you guys because we want to hear from you. We want to hear you guys talk y'all shit to us because y'all talk it in the comments all the time.
Yeah.
We'd love to hear it live so we can have an actual back and forth conversation and
open
that dialogue.
And I like it. And a lot of your comments, you guys say some real stuff. I love it.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Great points.
Sometimes
points.
you get stuff that we miss and we appreciate it.
Great points.
Absolutely. Because that's what it's supposed to be when you talk about politics. You're supposed to be able to talk about it, then walk away and everybody go to the potluck and eat what they want to eat. All right.
The courtesy of conversation.
Yeah.
Uncommonly spoke of.
So we'll see you guys next time.